Asking this before the vote yesterday. Pro or anti-gondola? What do you like with this plan that would take you from Union Station to Dodger Stadium up over Chinatown? Metro Board of Directors voted to move it forward. They say they're going to put some caveats on this before it comes back, so they'll see. But the fight to stop it is not over yet. Groups are opposed to the project, one of them filing a lawsuit now. Jon Christensen, UCLA professor with the LA Parks Alliance. They don't like the gondola, and he's with us live.
Hi, John. Good morning.
Good morning.
Why don't you like it?
Well, we're extremely disappointed by Metro's decision to certify this deeply flawed environmental analysis yesterday, which is illegal in some important aspects. Most importantly, that it didn't analyze at all Frank McCourt's plans to develop a major entertainment, retail, hotel, housing complex at the Dodger Stadium parking lots, something like LA Live. That's not allowed under California environmental law. You have to analyze the whole project, and it's obviously foreseeable and tied to the gondola. And the other major one is the taking of land and airspace over LA State Historic Park, which will really fundamentally alter and destroy the character of that state park that residents have fought for several decades now, to have that wonderful green space and open vista in a really park poor, low income neighborhoods in downtown Los Angeles.
Destroyed how? I mean, is it just the obvious of you're going to have a whole bunch of people in a gondola floating over your head when you're there?
Well, there's a huge 100-foot tall station that they would plant at the entrance to the park near the Chinatown Gold Line station, and gondola cars would come out of that station. They have to cut down something like 80 mature trees, a small forest at that western edge of the park. And then the gondola cars, these 5-ton cars, the size of a small bus carrying 40 people, would travel just 26 feet over the park. That's 20-some feet right over your head every 23 seconds in both directions. It's changing it into a major sort of transportation facility rather than a bucolic, peaceful park that really honors the deep history of Los Angeles.
Oftentimes, though, when big projects are considered, there are problems with neighborhoods. There's eminent domain and people are pushed out and there are problems. But then, 20, 40, 50 years later, people like it. So is there a way they could do this which would please you and your group, or are you just saying toss it out?
Well, what we're saying is that the environmental analysis, the environmental impact report, is fundamentally flawed. They really need to go back and redo it. So we're going to ask a judge to do what the board failed to do yesterday, which is send this back for a redo. Really analyze the impacts fairly and objectively, and analyze alternatives. There's much better alternatives. This project will not really solve the problem of traffic and pollution around Dodger Stadium. And there's much better alternatives, like electrifying the bus system, increasing the Dodger Stadium express buses from Union Station to Dodger Stadium, and expanding that service to the kind of service that we have and that works really well at the Hollywood Bowl and brings people from all over the county to concerts. The same thing could happen for Dodgers games and for other special events like World Cup and the Olympics and concerts. And so, we're saying this thing was proposed by a billionaire to, unlock the development potential at the Dodger Stadium parking lots. Let's, we're going to give this guy, Frank McCourt, who drove the Dodgers into bankruptcy, a state park to take away from the city. Let's analyze this thing fairly, and that let's look at the alternatives, which were not even really analyzed in this document. That's the way it should be done. It's the way that Councilmember Ulises Hernandez, who represents this district, has asked that it be done. let's look at really what are the best alternatives for the community and for solving the traffic problems and reducing greenhouse gases. This isn't that solution.
All right, Jon Christensen there, UCLA professor. He's with that LA Parks Alliance. It's back to the drawing board for that gondola plan. They're going to sue. John, thanks.